sat down with my wife yesterday, and I mean, I think she's as shocked as anyone. I've probably learned to live without football. Having played it and seen all the problems, I realised probably the easiest part of football is playing it, because you go home after training and you don't really take too many problems back with you. And so management, which is the total opposite, you've got to take them all home with you, is a different thing. But the time was right. It's the only job I would have ever even contemplated. If you're asking me, if you tell me you're surprised, then I'm not. It doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised, but I'm here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about the future, and potentially we're sat on the biggest club in Great Britain. There's no doubt about that.
It was just a start Keegan had dreamed about. A fairy tale win immediately rekindling hopes of a glorious new era at St James's Park. Newcastle's prayers had been answered. Their new messiah had changed the mood at the club in one fell swoop. Hope had replaced despair.
I'm delighted. It's a hope for a performance like that, and you never know. You can do so much, and when you sit down on that bench, anything can happen. But we had a 15-minute spell in the second half that would be as good as they've ever seen here, I think. And it wasn't easy conditions either. So delighted, and I wouldn't single anyone out. I just thought everyone played the part, and it was a real team performance, and it's going to be a team performance that get us back on the right road.
And what about that crowd?
Oh well, I can't think of another word because I've used them all, but you'll have to invent one. They're brilliant.
For the bat,
feeling optimistic.
I'm always optimistic. I don't think we'll go down, but like I said to the lads, there's still a game left, and we've still got to go there and get a result, and I think we're capable of doing it. I've always believed in them, even through the bad times. And we have had games where we haven't quite done ourselves justice, but we'll go to Leicester, and with that effort and the sort of effort we'd give with 8 men, 9 men against Derby, we'll get something and we'll survive, and then we can start looking at how we turn this magnificent club around.
Hundreds of people they could have chosen to do this, and I'd like to thank my team really, because they performed so well last year that they think I'm the right guy, and it's something that certainly I'll remember for the rest of my life. And I've got my children here with me and my wife, and certainly at their ages there'll be a lot of kids here tonight who will say I was there the night the bridge was lit up, and it's a very special occasion.
Unlike what was to come.
Hiya. We'll have a go.
The journey to the swing bridge was a taste of what it would be like.
Gonna blow the bridge up.
And as he prepared to perform the lighting up ceremony, the crowd showed their excitement.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it happen, Kevin!
The new lights were commissioned by the government-supported Newcastle initiative. Kevin Keegan was impressed.
Well, I'll be quoting this a few times over the season. We can light the bridge up after 60-odd years. We can light the public up in Newcastle with our football, and that's what we'll be trying to do this season.
You can tell they're excited because they've hardly stopped chanting on the bridges around us here. It's all Keegan, Keegan.
Well, I think, it'd be lovely for, I suppose, some of the players around and about. I know some of the lads are coming down, and they'll realise just how important the football is in this city.
And the river.
Well, the Sunderland supporter who works the fog on.
The ceremony over, a slight worry about the condition of the swing bridge.
Hey, you see, I nearly went through there. It's rotting, look. Give it a lift. Very special occasion. It's the landmark. It's the thing that everybody knows the North East by. And you wonder why it hasn't been lit up before, really. But tremendous night, and to see so many people down here. Obviously the tall ships and this happening, and the way the city is at the moment, there's a buzz around it. It's something that certainly I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I've got my children here with me and my wife, and certainly at their ages there'll be a lot of kids here tonight who will say I was there the night the bridge was lit up, and it's a very special occasion. Well, tonight is we've maintained that for 45 games now, or 44, and I know other managers have said they think they deserve this title, but take my word for it, this team deserves it. They've been magnificent all season, playing the sort of football people want to see. Said there's 14,000 here tonight. Well, I'd love to have the other few that were in there in my back pocket, but great night for the club. Right from the chairman down the tea lady. I'm delighted. The boys have done it.
And what's it been like the last 9 days waiting for a game with no game?
Well, we took the lads away and had a bit of a break, but I could tell on the way down tonight they knew what we had to do, and they've done it. This side will grace the Premier League. Make no mistake about that. We're after Man United now. We saw the celebrations the other night. Brilliant for Alex Ferguson, and it's Newcastle's turn tonight. I'm delighted.
The celebrations will go on. There's the crown. King Kevin. Special K as a player. It's King Kevin now as a manager. The crowning glory then for Kevin Keegan on a magnificent night for the club.
Bad at the moment. Yeah, it's the first hat-trick for Newcastle, so I'm obviously delighted. I've been in amongst the goals recently. I've always seen them like 2 here and 2 there, you know, and the hat-trick's been eluding me, so obviously I'm absolutely delighted, especially all in my head.
They're not a bad side, really, despite the 5, are they?
He's good enough to play for England, this lad. 2 or 3 hours to think about it now, and a flight home to talk about it. It's still, whichever way you look at it, it was a fantastic performance, and I couldn't wish for a better start in Europe for Newcastle United. It's been a long time since we've been there. A few little doubts, even in my mind beforehand, you know, is Europe that different, or how will lads cope with it? But those questions and those worries, if you like, were answered pretty quickly, and the performance was just, well, fascinating to watch. It was a great performance.
James
Going to lose your 100% record to anybody. I always said I wanted to be a good club, I wanted to be a good team, and I think they are a smashing club. I know they are, and they're a good team, and Roy Evans has gotten back on track, and we found out that first hand today. They keep playing like that all season. They're going to have a say in the Championship this year.
So cracking goal by Robert Lee.
He can play, you know. The biggest problem we've had with Rob is making him believe how good he is. We know he's a good player. It's lovely that Terry Venables was here today to watch it. I thought he had a great game. Second half, when we started to play, Rob Lee started a lot of stuff for us. Very determined lad, very strong lad, and he is scoring goals. And once you get scoring goals, it's amazing, but it becomes a lovely habit, and it's one that you cherish. And when you lose it, of course, and start missing them, it sometimes works the other way. But he's on a run at the moment, and he's sort of saying to Coley, catch me if you can, and he's setting a nice pace.
Tomorrow night they'll be tested to the limit again against the Basques of Bilbao.
The onus is on us, really. We're at home. We're morally obliged. We do anyway, go forward. But you never know quite what a good result is when you play the first leg at home. Some people think 2-0's a good result. Other people, you're not sure about it. But we'll go out and have a go at them, and I don't suppose anything will be decided until after the second leg in Bilbao anyway. He asked me if I'm sad. No, I'm not sad. You know, it was a good game. I thought, give credit to Bilbao. They fought very hard. And I'm disappointed a little bit because no one likes to go out of a European competition. But we wish Bilbao good luck and hope they're going to win the competition, so we're knocked out by the champions. 2 or 3 changes. We've had 4 or 5 in there, and I'm a great believer in 1 change is not a problem for a team. 2, you're starting to ask a lot, and then when you go over 2, really, you're in the lap of the gods. But the gods tonight with the players, I thought they were tremendous. Everybody, I asked different players who were not used to playing those positions to play them, and I just asked for a performance to go out and attack them, because I looked at us and really we didn't have any defenders left. So I mean, we're not going to go and defend for 90 minutes against a team of their class. Went out and played football against them in the Newcastle tradition, and can count ourselves very unfortunate not to be through already. You know, I mean, we've got a big job at our place. It'll be a great game again, but what a game of football. For about 4 or 5 games now, we've been looking like a team of individuals. They looked like a team tonight. They got together, lads at the back. You know, you felt we could get something in the centre of the defence, but the 2 of them really battled well against our lads. And then from there on, if you look at their front 2 players, Rossler and Walsh, they were back at left back, they were back at right back. I mean, I never saw our front 2 back there. They played it like a cup tie, and we played it as if we'd done the work at Main Road and we were just going to score goals and go through. And credit to them. I said to Brian Norton afterwards, no complaints from us, pal. You go all the way, because we weren't good enough on the night.
So it was a question of attitude. What do you put that down to? I'm sure it wasn't in the preparation before it.
No, I mean, you know, there was plenty of saying the right things and talking the right things before the game, but players have got to go out and play. And, you know, I said to them all afterwards, it's the first time in my time here that I felt that they let the shirts down a bit. I just, not in terms of lack of effort, but lack of thought, lack of invention. And it was a real, very, at best, a very average display from us. I've kept saying all along, we've got a good squad here. Last 4 or 5 games, I'm beginning to wonder if it's as good as I think it is. I put players in who knock on my door and say, hey, I should be in there, you've never given me a chance. Well, some of them had the chance last 4 or 5 weeks. And maybe I was right to leave them out, you know? That's the way I feel at the moment. I don't think that some of the players are as good as they think they are. And that's what we've got to get back to, basics, you know? We've had a lot of individual honours here over the past year. We've seen players play for England, which is lovely, for them and for the club. We've seen the crowds sold out. We've seen people giving us plaudits all over the place. But in the last 4 or 5 games, we have not performed, you know? Not anything like Newcastle United can. And we've got to get back to that. They're good enough, but they've got to believe it. It's no good me believing it. So are you saying that it should be changes from within the club, giving players who are pressing a chance, or is it the fact that you want to look for new blood to shake players up, maybe? What I'm saying is my chairman and the board of directors have been asking me for ages, go and buy a player, go and buy a player, and I've said no. This squad's more than good enough to get through until the players who are injured come back. Maybe tonight or tomorrow the chairman's got every right to come back and say, well, I don't think they are.
On a 5.5-year contract with United's youngster Keith Gillespie moving in the opposite direction. Since Newcastle's recent slump in form, there's been daily talk of transfer activity at St James's, but no one expected today's astonishing developments, least of all the fans who've been gathering at the ground all day.
When we got our bond, right, and the front of that bond was that the future of Newcastle. And Kevin, can I just finish, please? You know, don't mind. The future of Newcastle, we are no longer a selling club, we are a buying club.
We are. But if a deal comes along whereby I as manager think I can take the club forward again, I've got to be allowed to do that, you know? I mean...
News travels fast, and so do the fans when a sensation like this breaks. Shocked and angry supporters wanted answers from Kevin Keegan. Just why had the club sold the most prolific scorer in its history? Inside, Keegan appreciated the fans' concern, but insisted it was a good deal for the club.
At the end of the day, I got Keith Gillespie and £6 million for Andy Cole. I'm sorry to lose him. I know the fans will be sorry, and maybe some of them won't forgive me for it. But my job as manager is to try and take this club forward again. And having thought about it for 4 days and analysed every sort of possible way in which I can benefit from that deal or lose from that deal, I've decided to go ahead with it, and I hope the fans will understand that. I'm sure there'll be some upset at me. Some might think it's a good deal.
Would you sympathise with them if they said, here we go again, Newcastle selling Cole, they sold Gascoigne, they sold Waddle, they sold Beardsley first time round?
Yeah, I would, if it hadn't been for the fact that we've proved beyond doubt over the last 3 years, Sir John Hall and the chairman, and the board, sorry, we've spent a fortune on players, and all this money will be spent on players, plus. I mean, I had the chance this week to sign a £4 million player without selling Andy Cole, and they backed me on that. So I don't think the fans should worry on that count. I mean, if they're upset about losing Andy because he's popular in that, I understand that. And, you know, I'm hoping that the players that are here and the players that come in can, you know, more than make up for his loss. I mean, that's the gamble I'm taking as manager. I understand what the implications are if it doesn't work out, but, you know, a manager's job is to make decisions. I've done that today, and I think it's for the good of the club in the long term. Short term, people will be disappointed, no doubt about it.
Coming into the Toon Army singing "There's Only One Kevin Keegan," what does that result do for your season?
Well, it gives us a chance to really kick-start it, you know. I mean, it proves what we've been saying for weeks now, is that if we keep playing the football we've been playing, we're going to get results. And we've come to the most difficult place in the league to get results, to be fair, tonight. Played Blackburn, and I think thoroughly deserved to beat them. Anybody who was here saw the 90 minutes. We'll see it, you know, we created chances. Yeah, they had theirs as well, to be fair. But we played the better football, I thought.
What about you? It's been a testing month one way or another. Has there been any time when you've sat down and wondered whether you were doing the right things?
Well, management's all about making decisions. You know, I've had to make them. If you're on about the Andy Cole saga...
Well, the whole thing, really, and the team losing its way and so on.
This team's lost its way. Do you know we've played 36 games and lost 6 games this season, and we've lost our way? You want to go and ask a few managers, they'd be delighted with that record.
Kevin, first of all, a reaction to the match.
It wasn't a great game, was it? The only excuse I can make was that it was difficult conditions out there. Certainly swirly winds, which are never helpful when you want to see a good game of football. And probably secondly, certainly from Newcastle's point of view, we look like the 3 games in 6 days caught up with us today.
After the passion and the commitment of the midweek cup replay against Blackburn, was it inevitable that this afternoon would find you a bit flat?
Well, I wouldn't say it's inevitable, but there's always a danger that could happen. And I just thought we didn't pass it as well. We didn't knock it around as well. We didn't seem to believe in ourselves as much. We didn't start off bright enough, and we were never able to pick it up. Second half, funnily enough, when Keith Gillespie come on, I felt we started to look like we just might cause them a few more problems. But to be honest with you, you had to say it was a disappointing game for us, following on the back of 2 great performances.
What do? You just put this one behind the back of you and move on to the next game and forget about it?
Yeah, you just have to. I mean, we won't be taking the tape home, even if you want to give it us, put it that way.
Set the Premiership pace.
I definitely felt that we were going to have a say in the championship of this country, I must be honest. We started so well. It wasn't just winning, it was the way we were winning. We were scoring goals, we were creating an awful lot of chances. I thought I could take the cut-off point at 3-0 up against Bilbao and the Mexican wave coming around the ground. I mean, at that point, we'd played 2 very good sides. We'd scored 13 goals against them in less than 220 minutes football. I mean, it was incredible. But, of course, then we learnt the other side of European football, I suppose, and that is that maybe we were a little bit naive. The quality here to win something this year, and maybe not the league. I mean, that takes something a little bit more than just 1 year in the Premier, I think. But we certainly had it in us to do a Leeds. If we had that bit of luck, I mean, they had the bit of luck. With Man United falling away. If we'd had the bit of luck, we had a chance. But it was the injuries to key players.
Records. And it seems likely there'll be more records broken at St James's before the new season begins. Debbie Waldron reports.
At £4 million, he's Britain's costliest defender and Newcastle's most expensive signing ever. But Kevin Keegan's convinced that he'll get value for money from the 26-year-old player, who he regards as simply the best he's seen.
Here's Warren Barton.
He probably won't produce goals like that every week, but he is a versatile player.
He's a challenge to 3 or 4 players at this club, there's no doubt about it. He sees himself as either a right-back, a central midfield player, or a right-sided midfield player. But he can play anywhere. He's played left wing for Wimbledon. So, you know, that covers the whole spectrum, really. And he even said at the press conference, he's not bad in goals. We'll see. We get so many goalkeepers sent off last season, we might get the chance to find out.
£10 million in 48 hours by signing England striker Les Ferdinand from Queen's Park Rangers. On Monday, Keegan set a club record with a £4 million move for defender Warren Barton. Now he's quickly smashed that record, £6 million for Ferdinand, the man he's chased for more than a year.
They certainly know how to stage a signing at Newcastle, make sure a new man meets the right people and get that famous number 9 shirt on. The fans will do the rest. The Londoners' first taste as Newcastle's £6 million man. 28-year-old Les hit 60 league goals in the last 3 seasons at Loftus Road, and moving north was never a problem.
I've always said to leave Queen's Park Rangers, I want to improve my football. I want to go somewhere I think I can improve my football, and there's no better place for me to come and improve my football. And under Kevin Keegan, I'm sure I'll learn all the things I need to learn. He's a signing that really, really has excited the players. I mean, they'll look at that and say, yeah, we mean business now. You know, I think we needed a centre forward after we let Andy go. He's the one. And if you'd have given the choice of the world, he's the one I'd want, and I've got him.
The shirt and the man might both be new, but the tradition of Newcastle's number 9s will always carry on through the years. Keegan believes this shirt will fit the England international as though it had been specially constructed.
There's very few you'd want to come up here and say, put a number 9 shirt on. No hesitation with this fella. He's got the presence, he's got the ability, and he's got the record to really say to you, yeah, go on, put it on, and you know something's going to happen. Let's see what it is.
when I played here with Queen's Park Rangers, I came out of the tunnel and the noise and, you know, the atmosphere, you know, I was excited, although I wasn't playing for Newcastle. You know, I remember going in and saying to the players, can you imagine playing in front of that every week? It was fantastic, and you know, the support was brilliant, and that's what really swung my decision. I'm here to win something with Newcastle, and I'm sure that's what we're going to do.
Always constant rebuilding at Newcastle, Ferdinand will now fill the derelict plot left by Andy Cole.
I don't think in a 12-month span the Newcastle fans will ever again see two centre-forwards don the number 9 shirt of the calibre of these two. I would have liked to have brought Les to play with Andy Cole, but it wasn't to be. There'll be another world-class player coming in here, at least one, before the start of next season. I'm not saying to Les, come up and make us a championship winning side on your own. I'm saying, come and help us become champions of this country. I mean, these are great days for this club.
So just what will Newcastle's multi-million-pound board come up with next? Is there really no end to United's ambition or their spending power?
I think we'll play better this season. Hope we will. But we'll also maybe play as well and not get the goals and not hang in as well as we did. But yeah, I think at the end of the day we were just a little bit more inventive than they were.
It's not going to be 3 and 4-0 every week. Are you happy?
Oh, I've got to be happy. You know, I mean, it's a local derby, this, and there was a lot at stake. And it doesn't matter what you say to players, and it's just another normal game. You know, you sense something different out there. And I thought a tremendous atmosphere in the stadium. Contributed by Middlesbrough supporters as well, because there is a lot of rivalry between the two clubs, but it seems to be a nice rivalry, the one that you can live with.
You've got David Ginola, who in the end was the guy who came up with that little bit of something special tonight.
I thought he was magnificent tonight. I mean, his skill on the ball and he's a little bit of a freak in football in terms, because usually lads have a lot of ability, but they don't have pace. But he's got ability and he's got pace, and I think that's why. I mean, he's the bargain of the season, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm just delighted we got him.
Everybody will say, oh, wait until a cold night, cold November night at such and such a place. He won't fancy it then. What is his character like when the chips are down?
Well, I mean, he's only been with us a month, but we couldn't ask for any more. He's trained hard. He's got on super with the lads, and I think he's found the right place for David Ginola. It's a difficult week. International week. I mean, people are flying off all over the place, and some of them don't even play, but travel and that makes them a bit tired. And we looked a bit brain dead today. We're normally very alert and we knock it around better, but we didn't do it today. They did it better than us. I thought Matt Letizia was probably the best player on the park.
After last week's defeat, are you back on track?
Yeah, we're back on track. I mean, that was a stutter, and I thought the first 10-15 minutes I just sat there to Terry Mack and said, this is us. This is Newcastle United. The tempo and the commitment was so much better in those 10 minutes than the 90 minutes at Southampton last week. I was delighted with the performance. I've just been in the dressing room. I like to have a bit of a moan at some of the guys after the game. Usually can pick something, but it was a really good display. We battled when we had to. I thought at times Bristol City played some good football, but we always looked like we were going to make chances the way we broke on them. And I suppose we could have had 2 or 3 more if we're honest. Last year maybe I didn't have enough competition, and I think most players, 8 or 9 of them, were virtual certain selections if they were fit. It's a bit different now, and I think, you know, I felt sorry a bit for Joe Jordan tonight, because we'd have beat anybody 4 or 5 tonight the way we played.
These days, the Newcastle manager drew a big crowd at a fringe meeting where he stressed the importance of next year's European Championships.
But I think the Euro 96, honestly, if we all get together, could put this country back on the map. Not only as a soccer nation, because it's our biggest sport, but also as a nation, more importantly, that is capable of putting on a show. What was lovely about tonight is I think about 16,000 of the season ticket holders took up their option to buy for the match. And then I think the rest of them were all kids and parents fetching them who can't normally get in. And I was pleased that at least in the second half we showed them a little bit of what Newcastle United's about now. I thought second half was a terrific game of football. Obviously first half I was very disappointed with the way we played. We didn't play at any pace, we gave the ball away. But like I said, the lads at half time, they were working the socks off. You know, everybody back behind the ball, and you know, Ray had them really fired up. And at half time we were lucky only 1-0 down. I mean, Dicchio had 2 other good chances, one that just flashed wide of the far post. We needed a David Ginola, we needed a Les Ferdinand, and we needed a Warren Barton, just to give us that solid look that you need to really be champions of this country. We've got all the credentials now.
We've got a lot of players not in the side, as you saw today, who can come on, pick a game up straight away by the scruff of the neck and take it even onto another plane. So we've got everything here. We've just got to keep it going. It's early days. They're playing very well at the moment. Well, all season apart from one little hiccup down at my old stomping ground, Southampton. But, you know, we've got a good set of players, good team spirit. It's took us 2 or 3 years to build it. And it's not the strength of the people in the side, it's the ones who are waiting to get in that makes us special, I think.
Well, he is a good-looking fella, and he's obviously got the sunglasses fashion is spreading here.
Yeah, I mean, he's done tremendous. He's come over here. He's a proven European player, no doubt about it, but he's come over here, he's just taken everything in his stride, and that's great credit not only to him, but to the rest of the players at this club. And you know, there's a lot more to be written about this guy, I'm sure of that.
Now, Europe is the big talking point of the week again, isn't it? And we just heard what Gary Lineker had to say, and you played as a European Cup winner. You reached another final with a German club. You managed in Europe briefly last season. So if and when you join this FA think tank, what's your particular answer to the present malaise?
Well, you know, I'm reluctant to say too much because we weren't even good enough to get in Europe last year. So you've got to say that before I even start. But in our case, and which is probably the one I'm best qualified to talk about, we'd actually played against Antwerp, who finished 3rd in the Belgium League. Everyone would accept that the Belgium League was a good league last year. And then we played Bilbao. And at half-time, we'd scored 13 goals in 2.5 games. And then suddenly we did a Mexican wave round here, the fans, and the rest is history, if you like. I think the ban has affected us. I think not so much in ability, but in confidence and know-how. A lot of players have not really had the European experience. People talk about the Liverpool of old, but the Liverpool team that played Bromby haven't had that much European experience. And that's the only thing I can point to. I think the more the David Ginolas come over here, the Yeboahs, the Hullets, I think to prop up our football, if it's not as good as people think, then all well and good. But, you know, you could make a case for Liverpool going through against Bromby as easy as losing. I mean, they dominated the game and they got caught with the sucker punch. The other teams, I watched Leeds play against a very, very good PSV Eindhoven side. And it was a great game. It could have gone either way for a while, but in the end, history will show an 8-3 aggregate defeat, which looks pretty damning on our football.
And yet today we have all the clatter and the clamour of a great English occasion here, Newcastle-Liverpool, and we don't want to lose the excitement factor in our game, do we?
No, and why should we? I mean, there's nothing wrong with our game as far as it goes for the English League. It's the most exciting football in the world, without a doubt. But you've got to understand, if you go and play this way against the really good top European sides, as has been proved in the week, it's not the right way to play. But it's right for here. It's what the English fans want, you know? We mustn't fall into this trap of trying to play the way the Brazilians play. They play that way for a certain reason, John, you know that. I mean, you try and run around like we do here in Brazil, you last about 5 minutes. So their game's based on that. And I think people have got to be fair and say, our game is very good. What we've probably got to accept is it's not ideal for Europe.
Well, an interesting thought. It should be a cracking game today. Thanks for joining us live on Grandstand, and we'll see if the boys in the studio have got the sunglasses.
Sure they will have. Everyone's got them now.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, that was a massive game here today. You know, a lot of people say we haven't played anybody. We've certainly played somebody now, because they're a terrific side. Fortunate on the day to get the 3 points, but you know, if we're going to win something, if we're going to finally bring some silverware back to St James's, we're going to have to play average and get results. And I think we played at best average today. Lads never got their heads down, never gave up. At times, we were mesmerised by the passing of Liverpool, but in the end, along with the help from the crowd here, who were terrific today, we won a game possibly on the fortunate side. You know, Alan Shearer's from here, and all this speculation, it'll drive him as balmy as it drives me. You know, if you're asking me, would I like Alan Shearer here, of course, who wouldn't like Alan Shearer? If you did a survey of 5,000 managers throughout the world, they'd all say yes, and I'm no different. But, you know, he's a Blackburn player, and, you know, they've got some work to do this season to live with the mantle of champions, and he's a very important part of that. 2 very tough games, and character of the teams come through more than the skill and natural ability, and been very, very pleased. They made it very tough for us tonight, and it was always good to get the early goal, and from Rob Lee, who I thought played superbly, along with the entire back four, and everybody else
some had better games than others, but everybody worked for each other, and this team deserved to be clear at the top, and I don't think 8 points really flatters us. You know, the others have got to play now, and we can sit back and see if they can peg us back.
I made Rob Lee the man of the match. What did you think about that?
I make Rob Lee the best player in this country at the moment. You can defender, midfield player, front runner. I think some wag in the national press said he wasn't good enough for England. He's the best midfield player in England. He might not be the most talked about. He just does his job. You've seen the best midfield player in England here today, and he's been like that all season, John. So. Tonight was just breathtaking, and the pace of the game, and that took two sides to contribute. And obviously, it's pleasing for me to come here and fetch a team that's capable of playing Liverpool. You know, that's what we've been working hard for 3.5 years, and I don't think anyone begrudges the win tonight. We possibly at the end should have scored 2 or 3 more, but Coca-Cola Cup goal difference doesn't count. You know, you only get through one round, but very enjoyable night for us. There's a goal that would deserve to win any cup tie or any league match for that matter. He's come on for Les Ferdinand. He's ploughed alone for up front. You know, he's had to work very hard, and then in the end he's had the bottle and the nerve to take on 2 defenders. Great ball from Peter Beardsley in the first place. There's still a lot to do, and in the end he's chipped one of the biggest keepers in the league. I mean, it was a dream goal, and he loves videos, does Watto, so he'll be you won't get a video copy of that goal around Newcastle. He'll be buying the whole lot. He loves them. Well, every question seems to be at the moment, you know, this was the time last year when you fell to bits, you know. So, I mean, and because we did last year, we've got to just take it on the chin. But the only way we'll stop people asking them questions is to come to places like Wimbledon and Chelsea and beat them. And unfortunately, the last 2 games, despite some good football at times, we've not been able to do that. So we've got to keep, you know, when you're top in this country and up near the top, everybody's after you, aren't they, for one reason or another. And at Liverpool, we thrived on that. And at Newcastle, we've got to learn to thrive on it. And we'll see, won't we? A lot of people grew up out there today, if they needed to. I mean, young Lee Clark, people like that, you know. You can't really train and practice and pretend you know what to do when you go down to 10 men. You've just got to make a decision, and then they've got to do it out there. And to a man, they did it today, every single one of them. I thought Forest today played as well as any team has this season here. And at 1-1, could have gone either way, but Mr. Ginola popped up, and then we started to open them up a little bit as they came out looking for an equaliser. We missed some good chances. I can safely say if we put the second half of the season the same as the first, we will be champions, but very easily said, hard to do. We've showed all the qualities you need to be champions of this country, but we've got to do it for another, 4 months now, another 19 games. We've also got some tough cup matches coming up, which mustn't sidetrack us, you know, and yet we must want to win. We've got a big squad here, and everybody wants to get in, and the competition's fierce. And I would have thought in the new year we'll sign 1 or 2 players, especially with the change in the rules now. That was just an awesome performance. And, you know, 2-0 doesn't really tell a true story, does it? I mean, we carved them open a lot of times and missed chances that looked easier to put in than miss. But there was a lot of great performances out there, and, you know, Arsenal are a good side, a real good side.
People were still sitting down when the first one went in, I think.
Yeah, I had a joke with David Ginola because, you know, his father's over, and I said to him, you know, Philip, David, when my father came to watch me, I always scored, you know. And he just turned round and I just read his lips. He said, so do I, after about a minute and a half, I don't know. Great shot. I think Seaman did everything he could to keep it out, but just the power and the, you know, the placing of it beat him. Hours looked a long way away for us with about a minute to go, whatever it was, in extra time. But to be fair, the lads' first half, I thought we played very average, to be nice to the players. Second half, we battled a bit more, and we got something. Now they've got to come to our place, and, you know, we'll have the crowd behind us, and let's take it from there.
But did you think you were going out? Did you think the chance would come?
Well, I thought Philippe Albert missed one with about a minute to go or something like that, and I said to Terry, if we're going to go Wembley, it's got to be in the Coca-Cola. But at the moment, we've got a chance to go in both, and that's nice.
Thank you very much for joining us.
So the matter is, you didn't create many chances tonight. No, we didn't. You know, I've no qualms about the result at all. I mean, you don't play, you don't win at this game. We suddenly lost our way of playing, especially away from home. I mean, fortunately at home we seem to have kept hold of it, but they deserved it tonight. They played very well, created more chances, and they get the chance to go to Wembley, we don't. What about the sending off there? Did you see it?
No, I didn't. A lot of shirt pulling in the match, wasn't there?
I mean, I thought he was very unlucky to be booked, David Ginoli. You know, you're going to start punishing creative players in this country. Well, we'll lose them all. But I thought it was a bad tackle on him, but you might have seen it different on TV.
No, it looked that way. It looked a tackle on.
He got booked for a tackle. I mean,
but I think
that's the way football's going, you know.
Yeah, but I think he got sent off, Kevin.
I didn't see it. I know there must have been something.
Let me ask you finally.
You deserved it. 2 great goals.
Let me ask you finally.
Talk to him.
Yeah, one question you're going to be asked, though.
They won. They won.
One question, Kevin, about the England job.
They won. Good luck.
Can I just ask you about the England job?
I thought the fans were magnificent. Of all the teams we've had here, and we've had all the big teams, their fans were different class, and at times you'd have thought they were at home, you know. And I think the chant, "We are bottom of the league, we're bottom of the league," you know, they won a lot of people over here. They certainly look a better side than the bottom of the league side here today. But it would be some feat for the lads to do that. But at the moment, we're on course, and I think, to be fair, we've had some tough games here. Bolton, last home game was a tough game. But possibly the only time we've been lucky was Liverpool, who came here, played very, very well, and we won it in the last minute. We were very lucky that day. But the other 12 games or 11 games, we've been on top and deserved everything we've got.
Now, you haven't played for a fortnight, but you're never out the news at Newcastle these days, are you? Obviously, I've got to ask you, first of all, is there anything further you can tell us about the Aspria situation?
Not a thing other than the statements that have been put out this week. But, you know, when you're at the top of the league and you're always looking, as we are, to strengthen, even while we've got a great set of players here, I think we'd be foolish to think we've got everything we need. We're always striving for something better. But it's been a tough all week. But the players have gone on with training, real professional way. And I spent the last 2 days with them, and the atmosphere around the place is good. You know, it's been created over a period of years, and there's no reason why we can't go on and achieve all the things we want to achieve, you know.
But circumstances permitting, is he a player you would still like to sign?
Yes, he is. I think I made that pretty clear. But, you know, as I say, there's been a statement put out. I still believe he'll come here. That's my honest belief. And that's what I wanted. That's why we spent 2 weeks looking at him and working on it. So, yeah, he'll come here. Might find it a bit cold, but he'll come here.
Now, one or two others. I mean, David Batty's been linked with you. Chris Waddle was mentioned 2 weeks ago, who I think you have spoken about. And even this morning in the Newcastle papers here, Alan Shearer's name is now mentioned.
Yeah, it just goes on. I mean, Alan Shearer's name keeps coming up just because he's a Geordie. You know, the whole thing we've got about signing players at Newcastle is that, you know, we try as much as you can these days to keep our cards pretty close to our chest until we say, hey, there's a news conference and we're signing somebody. Some of the things thrown out are ridiculous for the players involved and for this club. But if you start commenting on every single player that we've been mentioned with, then we could be stood here all day. I mean, every player that's available or not available has been linked with us this year. The truth of the matter is we've got a very good squad here already. And, you know, I want to work with these players as long as I can, but I always want to add to them. And you know, inevitably we will be linked with everybody because we're a very open club, John, you know. And I think it was David Pleat who let it out of the bag that we asked about Chris Waddle. We did make an inquiry, but it never came from this end.
Waddle's playing against you today?
Yeah, he's a great player. Big fan of Chris's. I can remember the day I walked into the club and he was already at this club when Arthur Cox, who's now back here, was manager. And I think more than anybody, Arthur Cox sort of put him on the road, you know. He definitely had ability, but I'm not sure he knew what it was all about. And then suddenly, you know, the penny started to drop and you saw this, well, unbelievably skillful player emerging. And of course, Peter Beardsley will be playing against him today. And myself, that was the forward line. There's only one of them not playing, that's me, and that's why I'm having to talk to you and try and defend myself from all sorts of positions. It's much easier being a player, you know.
It's not that bad, come on. 4 years on Monday is your anniversary. You took over 4 years ago, this coming week. I mean, briefly, would you like to sort of give us a summary from your angle about those 4 years? 8 years before that, you weren't even in the game.
No, I was playing golf and I thought that was uninteresting, you know. No, I've enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, there's been some great days here, a lot of good memories. And I genuinely believe the best is still to come, you know. It's cold here, John, isn't it?
Well, I think that's a good moment to end the interview, to get you back in the warm. But I'm looking forward to the game, and thanks for joining us live, as always, Kevin.
Nice coat. I think Sheffield Wednesday came here to do a containing job. And inevitably, if you don't score early on, the longer the game goes on, the more the players from teams like Sheffield Wednesday who are playing that sort of system today get belief in it and think, oh, you know, we can get something here. And I thought they were very well organised, and they tried to frustrate us, but we never really got frustrated. We just kept plugging away and believing something would happen.
And Newcastle win by 2-1.
Well, I couldn't see until I put Tino or Faustino Asprilla on. I couldn't see where the spark was going to come from today. We were all a little bit lethargic. We weren't quite... First 10 minutes played well, and then after that, to be fair, Middlesbrough took the game to us, counter-attacked us whenever we get possession away, and that was plenty of times. And they were unfortunate not to kill the game off. I mean, they get the second goal, it's finished, basically. But we never stopped. We kept hanging in there, and then when he came on, I mean, it could have read 4-1 to us as well. That's how daft football is. I just said to Alan Ball, he's very lucky because being ginger, he won't go grey. But it was one of those games where every time they went forward, they looked like they might do something to us, and the vice versa once we settled down. We had chances. The keeper made a great save from a deflection from Asprilla. That was a great game, you know. I mean, I think neither side deserved to either win or lose it. I thought, you know, we showed first half what an outstanding side we are. We just needed to stick the ball in the back of the net a few times, and you know, the scoreline could have read quite an embarrassing one for Man United, but, you know, we live to fight another day. Chins up and on we go. He's still the team in the driving seat, and I don't care really what anyone can have the criticisms of the way we play, and anyone can chip at it, and anyone can pick holes in it, but no one can say it's not exciting, and the fans are enjoying it, and that's what we're here for. We're here for them, and the day they don't enjoy it, well, off we go, and someone else comes in and has a crack.
Kevin, first things first, it's nonsense to talk about you leaving here, isn't it?
It certainly is. Rumours of my death, as they say, have been grossly exaggerated. I'll be here next year. I mean, I think you saw today, whatever happens at Manchester when they go back with a trophy, I mean, congratulations to them. I mean, they've had a terrific season to pull back the lead we had. And with those young players and the experienced players helping them, they're going to be a major threat next year. But whatever happens in Manchester can't be any more passionate and enjoyable as what was happening here today. I mean, it'd be frightening if we could bring back a trophy. It's eluding us at the moment, but we live to fight another day, and we'll have another crack next year. And we're in Europe, so we've got 4 to go for. Got a chance, I suppose. We'll just have to see what we do.
Would you like to sort out the difference of opinion with your opposite number, who's now just won?
Well, I think, you know, in this game, the winners can laugh and the losers have got to make their own arrangements. So to him, have a good laugh. And I'm going to make my own arrangements with Terry McDermott, who's the best signing I ever made at this club, to be honest with you. So we won't go and have a drink. We'll just go and sit somewhere and mope for a couple of hours. We'll soon get over it. We'll have a holiday, and we'll be back playing the same way next year. And hopefully, we'll just last out a bit better. It's lovely to see a Geordie come back home. We've sold them off time and time again up here. We've built stands with the money, people have said, and we've tried to buy other players to replace them very quickly. That's gone at this club now. He's come here because he knows he's got a great chance of winning something. And we've bought him because we know, even with the great players we've got, that this guy on my right is going to improve them. I'm his ball boy now. You know, when he's shooting in training, I'll be picking the balls up. It's funny how life works out, but there's a lot of great stories about Alan. But the one thing that really sticks in my mind about the whole thing is the way the guy's handled it. You know, he's handled it the right way. No one's thrown any dirt his way. No one's got upset. Of course, there's disappointment when you leave a club, and there's disappointment when other clubs who want him miss out. But to fetch a Geordie back home is a real reverse in the trend at this place over the last 20 years. We've been selling them off right, left and centre and letting them slip through the net. This is it working in reverse, hopefully, and that's got to be great for the area. Disappointed with the passion my team showed first half. You know, I don't like prima donnas. Never did as a player. Won't put up with him as a manager. And we had a few just strolling out there thinking, well, you know, we bought Alan Shearer and he's going to score goals, and we've got David Johnny, he's going to make something, and we've got Les, he's going to get us a goal from a header somewhere. And we looked like everybody was waiting for something to happen, and nobody was making it happen. And lack of passion is the thing that annoyed me in first half. Second half was better, commitment was better, football was better, possibly unlucky to lose the second half 2-0. But take nothing away from Man United, their approach was right, their passion was right, their football was excellent, and in Cantona and Giggs, I thought they had the 2 best players on the field by an absolute country mile, and you can't take anything away from them. You don't just put players together like we have and expect them to click straight away. What you do expect, or what I did expect, was the defence to be more solid. They're players who are used to playing together. The midfield players have played a fair few games together now. So, you know, that's what disappointed me more. That the forwards, I always said that Les and Alan will take time to play together. And there are people out there who don't think they ever will, but I'm not one of them. And I've seen enough in training and little bits in matches to think it could be something very exciting. But it needs work. They need help out there as well. They need better service out there. And, you know, the service into them today was pretty average.
Newcastle are through, but the manner of their victory left Kevin Keegan asking questions about his team of stars.
Very disappointing. I just think I was a player who always went out to play 100%, so I can't relate to a performance like that. I tried, but I can't see the sense in us coming over here being like that. We prepared them right. The hotel was good, the food was good, the training was good. The performance was abysmal.
To lose, to try the chip today.
5-0 might have flattered us, but I mean, we hit the post. Schmeichel made some good saves, and you know, we were pretty good defensively, you know, which is an area that we haven't been all we should be. So, all in all, really proud for the players, really pleased for the fans, and delighted for people like the chairman. You know, when he came in and said, "What a performance," I said, "Well, you know, if you spend 60 million, you deserve performances like that sometimes."
After Sunday's massacre of Manchester United, today it's a modest total. Newcastle United 1, Oldham Athletic 0. Wasn't exactly Sunday, was it?
No, it was never going to be Sunday, was it? You know, you say to all the right things to the players before they go out, but inevitably it seems that after a performance like that, there is a bit of a dip. The good news is that despite not playing very well, we still went comfortably into the next round.
Oldham did at least make it difficult for you. They were very diligent in their defending and stuck at it all the time and had a few chances.
Yeah, without ever really threatening us, you know. I mean, they had the odd little chance first half. I don't think Xhaka had a save to make second half. But I was more looking at what we were doing, and we passed the ball, but we never really passed it at the pace that we can pass it at. We never really were as creative as we can be. And when the chances did fall to people, they never really looked like sticking them in. So we've won on a penalty at the end of the day, and people look at it and think we scraped through. And I think we did a little bit more than that, but it wasn't anything special, was it? Great finish with his left foot, and he did enjoy it. And then this one, a great lesson to all people who want to finish. You know, you talk about passing the ball into the net. Watch this.
He does that so well, Kevin. Now coming up here is one of the great goals in my view.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better every time I see it. You think he's going to hit it with his left, turns, puts it on his weaker foot.
David Ginola. You can see it again. It probably looks even better on the replay.
It looked great last night, but I mean, it's one of the great goals of the season. You might see a few more in this Premier League because it's so good. And the last one's a tap-in for Les. He worked hard all night, missed a couple of chances, but he just kept going to the 90th minute, and I was delighted he got a goal. He deserved it. He played up front on his own and let Tino work round him.
You must be so pleased all the way. You mentioned that you know your side didn't play brilliantly at the beginning of the season, Kevin, but they're playing not too bad now, are they?
Yeah, we ground out a few results, and we played really well against Man United. They didn't play bad. We beat them 5-0. Maybe flattered us slightly, but you know, take nothing away from the lads there. But I thought last night was, without Alan Shearer, considering that, and with one or two other injuries to players, was a terrific performance against a side that was very hard to assess for us. I don't know how.
100.
He's a tremendous inspiration to all around him. Yeah, he has days when he passes it to them, then he goes and gets it back off them. But his enthusiasm for the game is, well, I don't think I've ever met a player like him. And again, today, you know, there's a penalty, he just missed one, puts it down, smashes it in. I think it helped having his lad as a ball boy to the right of the goal there. I think he was thinking, I better not miss this, or Drew will have a go at me. But very pleased for him. He deserves everything he gets out of the game. He had to go. But, you know, how many times do we have to see the guy who starts it off just get away scot-free? End of story. You know, I'm not trying to get anybody else into trouble, but, you know, there was something happened to make David Batty react like that. And, I mean, you know, it doesn't make it right. He knows. He's apologised to me and the lads. And, you know, the lads had to work very, very hard after he'd gone off. But his behaviour has been impeccable. I think that's about the first time he's ever been sent off in his life. I was very disappointed with some of our performances before the last two games. So it'll take more than just those two to really make me feel we've got a chance of winning it. But we've showed to ourselves, if we needed to, certainly the players have, that we can score goals, that we can cause you know, good defences trouble, because Leeds came here today to defend. There's no doubt about that if you look at the lineup. and we still managed 3 goals against them. Possibly could have had a couple more. So it tells us that we're, you know, despite what other people think, we still believe we've got a chance. It's only that. It's only a chance at the moment. We need to go on a hell of a run. We might be at the start of one. 10 against 1 in 2 home games isn't bad.
Even so, Keegan was adored on Tyneside and not just by football fans. But outside Newcastle, the game's followers, particularly the London press, doubted whether Keegan had the tactical expertise or strength of character to pull off one of the game's great fairy tales.
There's only one Kevin Keegan! One Kevin Keegan!
They've been singing the same anthem ever since he arrived at St James's 5 years ago, and they're still singing it now.
And was the first journalist to speak with Kevin.
I mean, it's similar sort of people come racing and come to football. So the people I understand. And, you know, ever since my dad took me to the St Ledger and we went on the free course there in the middle, when there used to be, it seemed like millions of people there. I've had this bond with racing, and now I'm fortunate enough to be able to put some money aside and just have a bit of fun. And even if they run like they did today, very, very disappointing. You still bred them, you still fold them yourself, and they mean a little bit more than just going buying at the sales and that way. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Round ball game, do you still show an interest in the old club?
Yeah, I'm watching hockey just about all the time, you know. You mean hockey? Of course, I'll always have an interest in Newcastle United. I loved the club and I enjoyed it. But it's end of story now. And with Kenny Dalglish there now, you know, obviously I wish him all the best. I think he's the right choice, and, you know, I've told Terry Mack that. But other than that, I don't want to say anything about finishing. I enjoyed it, but it's finished. And I'm going to go racing, Doug. I've got a winner for you in the next race.
What's that?
I don't know yet. I've got to go and look at the form.
Kevin,
God
thanks
bless.
very much for your time.
Nice seeing you again.
Do that with footballers, like he said about Leeds. And when you do things like that about a man like Stuart Pearce, I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that.